Welcome in 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Thank you so much for joining us as we get into the month of May, which brings us to today's show. The month of May, we celebrate the birthday of Car Biz Done Better. 13 years this year. Absolutely fun, amazing, never a dull moment. We've been through a lot, and I've learned a lot as an entrepreneur. And so I want to share with you a couple of things I think are important to anyone in entrepreneur, sales. This discussion came up last night with my wife, and here's the reality of it. We have to be nimble. We have to be willing to change. We have to be chameleons. We have to fit into the environment that is in front of us. When we started, things were, pretty cushy, pretty not cushy, but I mean, the industry was doing very well. There was a lot of, opportunity. We created a niche business within automotive, which I take a lot of pride in, as a 150-year-old industry. And we were able to carve out this really small, nothing crazy, just a nice small niche for ourselves in the concept of vendor management, helping dealers deal with vendors and data and vetting vendors and installing and following up and making sure things go the way they're supposed to. So this was a very, for us, it was very exciting. Yes, it started off tumultuous. Yes, we were sued by a big billion-dollar organization. We were threatened to be sued by a multi-billion-dollar OEM. And so from the beginning of time, my wife made it very clear to me that we're obviously on to something. If this many people want to get after us, we're on to something. And here we are 13 years later, and the evolution of the business has been incredible. And because we're willing to be nimble, because we're willing to change, we've added in social over the years with our man, Jeff Hunter. We've added in CRM. Here in the last year plus with Josh Sack. We continue to have great folks on the back end supporting both those products well. Oh, camera issue there. That makes it possible and to do what we do and to have the fun that we're having. So thank you to my team. Thank you to my ops director, Jeff Hill, who's been here since the beginning, obviously, and my wife, Stephanie. Without her, none of this would be possible. So the next lesson that I want to impart on you is that you never burn a bridge if at all possible. In entrepreneurship, in business, you just don't do it because you absolutely never know when you might have to go into that Rolodex, make that call, and have somebody pick up the other end of that phone and be helpful. We've had situations over the years that have made it more difficult to not burn bridges, sure. And I still do my very best to keep them as, even keel as I can, keeping in mind that, I have friends that work for companies that maybe I don't get along with, but I get along with them, and trying to keep all of that in line. The best part of what we do is getting to work with clients because, as I mentioned, the growth of this company, social, CRM, and now into our event this fall being social, which is coming up on its 4th year, none of it's possible without clients, partners. It just isn't. They're what makes it go. Every product we have is because of them. Our delivery system that we use for our client material is because of a client. That client still works with us. Granted, he's been back and forth a few times, but he still works with us today. That relationship's over a decade old. Our client list, average client now is getting up to 7 years with us. 7 years. When you think about that number, you think about churn. I am like the most opposed to churn that there is because churn just costs money, it costs time, it costs effort. Making great partnerships is what I'm after. I'm not after trying to help someone for 30 days. We had a big group we worked with for like 75 days. It was miserable. They sucked. It sucked. We weren't meant to do that, but it was still early. We were still trying to make sure we made deals. It was just before COVID. Obviously, after COVID, everything changed. Surviving COVID was something that I saw coming because we're nimble, because we're really light on. We have no debt. We have no business. Like we have no offices. We have none of that stuff. So our overhead is stupid low. And it's what allows us to make the deals we make and get engaged with the clients we have. And even still today, I mean, last week we had a pitch with a group that is, 30 stores plus. This is still happening to us, and it's all happening to us by repeat and referral business. We've never had a sales organization to what we do here, ever, ever, ever. We used to do shows way back in the day. They didn't pencil. We created our own, about being nimble. It's about being able to move through things, see change before change happens. It's also about realizing when things are starting to slip and how to make that change, how to navigate that next move. It sounds easy, but it's not. There's more to it. There's a lot more into it. And so here's what I would tell you guys. Just keep in mind that as you move through all of this, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in sales, you have to keep your eye on the longer game. Too often, entrepreneurs and salespeople get stuck in 30-day cycles. And when you get stuck in 30-day cycles, you will never be able to see 120, 160 days from now. And that is what will matter most to you as you truly develop your skill, your craft, your business, having a long view of what you expect it to be and how you want it to be, and not trying to rush it. And that goes for those relationships that you're building along the way with clients, with partners. You don't need it to be like a grind like that. You need it to be a long-term partnership. All right. That's as simple as I can make it for you. And so over 13 years, the good, the bad, the ugly, it is all worth it. I say this all the time. The worst day of working for myself was better than the best fucking day of working for somebody else. And that will always hold true. So thank you so much to everyone who has done business with us, does business with us, partner vendors, everyone who works here. I can't say it enough to you guys. I feel like I get to live out a boyhood dream every single day. And it's only because of great folks that we surround ourselves with here at Car Biz, as well as the client partners that we have. Because really, without them, none of it matters, and none of it's possible. So thank you all so much. Go out, have yourselves a great middle of May. And next week on the show, let's have some fun too. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.